Locarina, where you been so long? Oh, Locarina, where you been so long? I pray every night since you've been gone. Oh, little darling, where you been so long? Little darling, where you been so long? Oh, little darling, where you been so long? I pray every night for you to come back home. Corina, Corina.
Dr. Boo Nygren, which is now Jisho, Hanet, KTNN, in Hadashi Hataso, KGAK, and Hidini, the Hoya, Severan Hotzando, Hanet, KTShle, those Kadahonits, and get touch sheet in shadow, not was a Bash's chain, not for the cheating, the shade, or not was a 8 Dashanella, a hot oh, the Nebenant, and Hansen Hoya. Dr. Boo Nygren, Horoshin, Hahodoljish, upcoming holidays or appreciation days. May is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives Awareness Month. Thousands of our Indigenous women, men, children, and 2 spirit loved ones have gone missing or have been murdered. Tishin Katlan hit the net and Lombitsin Slejidan Loa Siego, Tidabadilia dot ati, the Neche Hataban Tahigi, Behan Nito no awareness month, Eshi hot on Le Hojashata and Nishigida, Yolanda Azusa, di Shilhas Anigi, Yinaz Nesto, the Nedabanda Kato, Dia Horohit Ola, the Nebenant Adol Hotanoy, Yolanda Azusa, Hoshana Neshigi, Hawadashi, which is the Hodosne, Tito Hitadis Auda, the Kate and Lenegi Chetati Hata not Hanegi, Hado Hodo Shishel Anigi to Asi, basically, this allowed Division of Social Service, the Ahit Od and Jono, Skitten Das Nesto, not Aunt the Hajo, the Nebe Bessen the Hosnegi, Hajo Chedod Nicha, no, although the Kushinanes count a proclamation declaring May 2024 as missing and murdered in their relatives across the nation. Eshihato Hadeshletole Ebeni Nache, and Sahakes to Ebeni Nachoja in Shada Nishigida, Yidanetlon, Hate Ola de Schwaltanzoyan, Sida Case Ebe, Ribedas Nito de Sashi Adais Notsangi, Ahui Jinshi, Nikinan Nish Das, and do Ahui Jinshi, Tankik Ed and Nanigi Hadano Tagi, Nahansis case. Local announcements. Missing Navajo people reports from the Navajo Police Department this week. Shiprock Police District, 33-year-old Renelle Rose Bennett was last seen Sunday, June 15, 2021 in Hogback. Jehapet and Tadon Kilpada Hodzenoshi Torches, a label because Aniki Tahotosne. 505-368-1351. Auto Chinle Police District, 31-year-old Leslie Allen Mitchell. Last heard from April 13. Traveling on a Greyhound bus from Albuquerque to Gallup. 6 foot tall, 215 pounds. Chinle. Just a lot because Anigi Bislahatosne. 928-674-2111. Hodena Rahat Nodan Kilpahazanoda. Hot Edolis. Ado found Navajo people. Sharnae Ashley, who was reported missing April 28th from Monavi, Arizona, has been located and she is safe. The Shiprock Department of Family Services hosts community resource fairs. The first fair will be Wednesday, May 15th. Sheep Springs Chapter House starting at 9 a.m. Ado Co Chapter House on May 22nd. 505-368-1185. This time in history. This Sunday we celebrate our mothers. Amabechani. The mo gone. Kamadon, Kamasanado, Heshin and Sanida. Obehani, Lisha, Slashin at the Hasad and Kamado. Honda Holod and the Baby Nacho, the Honda Donagi to Behanni to a Madels and Binya. Aroshida is not a mother notle, a mother notlenigi don, Halchin Tadado, Esto, Bikita no Igi, Alto had the list, a Maholo do a Mabich Hajol no, a yo bohonet, Zantla deho, Shamaholoneda, a yo hunched it and them, a hot end the Kadeb in Nachaban Siske, so you can Nash Enigidot, AKS na Kinnet, Ashigi, Beninache, a yo Beshikaya hot, Eto, the Quigo, the Shi, the Eshinda, the Quigo, Shemayaja, the Hollow. Le بالخيج ده دوش الديج ده بتأكيجن إيشي ده أي لو بنشني تله ما يجا هيت أوشي كده هيتا نيجي نجنو ده توصل يان يا ده تأهيجي دو تسلزن يا ده تأهيجي بينانا دو تله وين زوشي بيناسكو نانا خاتله إيه هتو Sunday Mother's Day. Anne Reeves Jarvis created Mother's Day to honor her sacrifices her mother made for their children when her mom passed in 1905. Mother's Day. Navajo life lesson. Learning to weave is learning to live. Weaving is more than just a craft. It is rooted in tradition and culture. It connects a person to an entire heritage, ancestors, and stories that have come down through generations. Weaving teaches patience and perseverance. It's meticulous, time-consuming. A weaver spends weeks or months on rugs and learns good things that takes time and effort. Weavers learn to pay attention to detail, to create the intricate patterns. Most important, weavers learn the value of creativity and individual expression. When problems arise, weavers learn to figure out solutions and become resourceful and adaptable. Learning to weave is a way of any young Navajo person to grow, honor, and carry their cultural identity as Navajo. خايشين جغنو اجدو ليلو ثلاثة سينان تلا تو كورغو بنجلنش ثلاثة دو خجو اد ايتاندي تو ييغو بيغا حاجت ايري توشي با خجو بان سيزي كيز حاليت اولا تو بل خجو الچه شليلو بنيناچن سيدس كسو نجغنو اد شليل خوين زونشي اخوت اوشي دنتا اتلوغي بنان تين دهولو ارولتو بيخني لين خمسان دو نكت شيدون الجعدة نتسلدة ناد ديجدا بددا تاعت اوشي بيدالني كدا داد ايه دا شنجونو بيخني جوت نيت لنجي بني نتشي ايه انترنت اوغي ان خمنا حسان بخاو بين خاو دلزن نكزا دو دي يوغا دال نيجي دا ايه بيخني تولي Navajo life lesson ادو هدونان ايه نانش السخودا لياغي. This past Friday, we broke ground on Eastern Denebekea Complex. The Navajo Nation Council and I wanted to make sure the Navajo Land Department, Navajo Election Administration, Health Education Program, and the Child Enforcement Program and Vital Records Office have a safe and accessible home in Crown Point, New Mexico. De hodo kushinache ase yego enda o kam het ola wa Crown Point gi juno kentlan khandot alton le hawanna tzik analt ante do hi nalta so chebi hindelnish benina kenyat egi nit on e asho na nishigi bohnet lido de neda la nalt sosta ya nadan khahoda bayada hot eton no nda os kano benina le peso horo de nebo Washington but peso ye et lodi 3.8 million do yo troje ha hot zoje ye et lodi gi 100,000 stand as a 4 million bahale honjono kin jono na dot alto beninache de nebe bekan nata what do de net nish winzo ay Crown Point, New Mexico, Eastern Denebekea Complex, groundbreaking that's it lim do hone nanegi I signed a $4.8 million resolution to build a new chapter house for Cameron, 4,500 square feet facility, and it will impact over 1,000 Cameron residents. Kadaze thati na khe thanaz lekins anigi anidi nadot alkha no yedel nisha Beninache bohonet zam Beshwas an Honorable Casey Johnson acho Beshwas an lenigi yenash nesto khatnas lelda yildal nishonzo nal sos khada delgado Beshwas an betato nil sos do yelanda asli ado shishananal sozabe belan asli bendaton nish stand zet khande zedinash nis 4.8 million hoto horobe hanasje khaishi ad hajo etol nil Sida KCAZ بيش ما سا أندو تخاناز دليego بالكل نتاهولن تو بيبل نتاهولن خدو ششلز أنجي دوي إند بشغل نيتا لاتو بشغل نهجي إتو بيسو بلنا إيشلي تو خدو عدد أبوهن زنا أو كام بولت خاد إيدا بتخاتو بيناش هوت إند بيش ما سا أندو تخاناز نلتو عاد تنكيد هات إنجي هجول كيسن دال نشوي ديتو نجونو دا كنيلت أوتا دي Cameron Chapter House 4.8 million كوشين نادي زيدون نجونو بدت لون نشتو هنا هوت هاشي تنه يلاندا أتليتو ليل. Also, I approved an $8,500 funding for gas extension for a ganado home. Aro atilo honanet tkhanaznele jono belna annisho. To peshwasa an belna annisho. Die peso bedet egi die son-in-law het all gas line shadolt eto propane na hakeda si nantla diaski asanasilli do belina ash enigira asi has tkisilli propane do bigata everything kanda I don't edam khodo san khadolt no hot obelansalli honorable delegate James inashnisto the chapter house officials da no lenigi khadolek lobeni nache ahun she hinde 8500 jono horo belansalli do beni nache shinjono hawan bigeto wana has todole binat adal do beni nache da chiyan nanal idol ebe khadin idol hot jono alkilna nishigi ala nasko yon nelle aro hunne nanagi a light up Navajo connects 7 Chinle homes to electricity and ongoing efforts. The NTUA because anigi trado din des hane lala the nehwan base cheap lal dilt aji da noye in the has trade neza din bohnen zada no yeshil na hol ne hot end the moya da is 7 Chinle homes but that il ayo ille sahat zinigi an kin ke besa be dol chgahegi si do bohnet zana kushi bahelle 10,000 20,000 30,000 ebeni najidit ode belagana da dat egin kheda dat enigi do the nedan lenigi hoden khan da khat o te shwolte beniye da noda in nachida ita hos out the best chi khaton delt egi to he do light up Navajo cruise khadeshi the Chinle dashnishge Wisconsin de dat in da no beshil khonne the 3 new mobile broadband towers launched in Little Water, Casimiro Lake, and White Rock. The niche be in sick case be na nishigi. The page be netrada the jahigi. Digi da zone de asi eteslon jonon da nishle. Ebedina asi hojashata in nishigi. Telecommunications broadband office. Do hoja Eastern Agency. The neta no tlinigi. Nkhata ilyagi khadole asi yego beninachi. Nada ostkhat kalchin nada ostkhat dole beninachi. Na nishi yil wala do yobchin hon ladolo let khwinzo. Hot khan gidini dole bin dasol nishigi. When nanagi major projects I'm working on. The new Crown Point Youth Complex will serve as a model for more complexes around the Navajo Nation. The Crown Point Office of Dene Youth Complex and Janonit hot enikashi kushinache and le khaholjish previous president in Ashnish aro shibenadish nish aro la base la johonanelia honorable Danny Simpson da atkahinash nish aro tati daba indet ati bin anish kana alne at noye ade atkanashande onel kineyon schosa din le ADA upgrades ayise yedan lido ade ba otano yeshilin da hasne eshebin nasher da bedini toshe beshwas anda shishin juno bendil nishto the ADA door da khatnenigi hajol cheda rol nil hoto summer but na hol jishna aligago belt edo lelt shnoye ade khadiya Crown Point. Haro New Mexico state funding support for 54 projects in New Mexico chapters. The funding comes from the state's general fund bond, which will support projects of our local New Mexico chapters during this year's legislative session. The funds at the state are coordinated with Division of Community Development. Since the part of this process is completed by the nation's programs, New Mexico chapters, my administration is aimed at improving process times. This will get projects completed quicker and the funds will draw down on time. These are yo troje ha zoje beson hit in de il ingi hajonal social hende di nelto bedad nil khalo akhot oy jono beson hit inal ingi al khonda do bendadil nish noye Division of Community Development yedel nish Navajo Da and Navajo County continue developing their partnership. At their second meeting this past week, NDOT discussed getting BIA paved roads restriped as part of NDOT's 110 chapter initiative. They determined that pavement lines are too faded and they are unable to see where the lines end and begin. They say teen bakauda kathol do hot ida tleo tlate donde la das legend do sogo das legend do das legend do dat ida tleo da noda eye jono khilnda deal nisho alcheda deal nil noya. The goal is to make sure road stripes on Navajo roads are repainted and done on a regular basis. Alkhilnda deal nisho no Navajo County ilnda. The construction of the Tsalani Cottonwood Senior Center building is nearly complete. The building includes reception area, waiting area, separate men's and women's restrooms, storage facilities, electrical, mechanical rooms, office space, pantry, kitchen. The Navajo company was awarded the contract with a notice to proceed. Le injuno the nemerant ashidilya elsa khadashla do bilan selling eshi hot obani nache Njono Tsalani Cottonwood Senior Center ndol nilkhno yetadesh nishkana ilchon grand opening June 26th do Navajo Nation's water rights efforts, expecting the council to introduce legislation tomorrow to approve the Arizona and the Rio San Jose Basin in New Mexico water rights. Hot beshwas anje naltsos khadaliago khadol nil aro betaton dol tsos noye enda njono khodol jesh aro di aslande zejin njono dol nil do belanda di lelto hoje shida naltsoshana do khesho belanda shlel aronle Jose do Southern Paiute apelto hoto ededo lil aro bekedonda kinnal grego naltsos bedoche di retro khanelan hedet edolelto ben that on the space of the pedal count yet to let do yelana da asli isla din khatso setini women President Biden yela to let no yet but they need nish now meet and greets 2024 Dash for Cash horse race from Yellow Rock Point, Red Mesa, Tisnaz Pass. Hot on journal the ne Cleandale Trehigi Belcho 36 miles. The youngest rider was 11 years old, who was a girl bull rider. So hot on journal Cleandale Trehigi Shina Shahado Aro as in journal 20th annual Khazli say Cleadat Eto Mado Jado Masanado Cleat the Bayin Cleat the Banantin Bespad the Hozenigi the Ad the Holonde se bohnet lo ad athon shlonde do chli bakat anta saton to do golta no di se si da delgo se do da desh konso nayo basis zin at enden jono da illa first place 1 hour and 43 minutes it in. Although I welcome hundreds of runners as they came together for the Shiprock Marathon Saturday. Troche le de del kehigi see Shiprock tsesa ande honde de sholanat an de sholanoda. One of the best marathons in the USA, top 10 noya bahani. Aro Boston qualifier at noya. Aro Navajo, yes, those sponsors njono ben dasos nishigi. Thank you so much. Pre-K through 8th grade, students from Tohal came to Shilkhaz Anigi. Silchinias di beda khedon le di zata beda khedin jono. Which had a see lahota sa beda snihigin da bedishni. Belaho bin shra are more than capable. The Bedishni the neck actually the hall. Shohoroban this case. Not end it. Height she done kitchen the has anigido biga done here that then you hot end. The sinzinigi the khan zone. But Laho bin shran. Jonona shadow Jono the nest said the no dancing case. Now hot on nil. But the snow sad alchin which in wishla. Our upcoming events. I will attend Navajo Elder Fest in White Cone, Arizona on Friday. Elder Fest song and dance fashion show. No, 9 o'clock do hahaljish. Hoto ase yega masane do masane dan jono but trahojon do natlo da ase be. Traja hot esle shehun stesle. Masanado Cheda Yistsel, Yat Epidishnit, Obe, Yisabish, Trayahot, Ele, to Elobade, the Chinias Nada, no Seligido, Gastuido, Hezani, Nastas Lingi, Hit Ola Hajo, Bakadahadot, O Ebony Nache, Yedane Clinton, Ebony Elo, Hot Edule. Ado proclamation the more it's na aslion the grandma and grandpa mut adult nila noya elders that kneels in obini nache ado Friday go eat the next college convocation eshi ade khastil eshi ade yat eta hedildi nil digi go na nishat eto nsin kest obednil khaldo hot oya annehin juno hawanda khaldi lil saji nkalchinda nke madon ke jada shinlanda iltra eda hot on sar but hot dolni later in the week, MOU with Johns Hopkins University, Navajo Epidemiology Center to improve health and wellness across the nation. 30 years John Hopkins nebeke baka ndalgo eshibe hodo hehan khidini dole hoje de monda otlelo yat eto dahon nesgido na neshbeke khadashagi hodo ben khil nashne ado hodo Dr. Nygren the nebenant anton jono din khilalo na de no khaton hikinada hajitlo do aschashi lata do khajon khadat inan den to sit so de zindebe nasko do joya Sahakes, Benadani, oh, Nasco Nandi, no Catolebe, a Kedole, Aro to Mona, Aslim, Horo, the Hanades, Hakone.
Yad good afternoon, She Justin Hostinian, She, Adonet, Schlenigi, Ebelagana, and Schle, Tots and Neighbor System Lagana Edasha, Nana, Kisane Edashanella, about okay, the day Nasha. I'm Justin Hostin. I'm the Executive Director for the Navajo Nation Washington office, and really excited that President Nygren will be in my hometown of White Cone. So thank you, sir. We look forward to seeing you there. Just a few things that have been going on within the last few weeks here up in Washington, D.C. Last week, I was able to testify to the U.S. Congress House Commerce Committee on the importance of AM radio. And this really started at the beginning when Ford announced that they were going to be removing AM radio from their newer vehicles, which pose significant risk to a lot of Americans, especially Native American communities in very rural areas, such as the Navajo Nation, where we are very dependent on AM radio to receive not only our cultural entertainment, but also important emergency updates, especially in a language that our elders can understand. There's been a lot of debate around the AM and FM frequency, whereas FM does offer better sound quality, but the range is very limited compared to the AM network or AM frequencies that are able to go across the entire Navajo Nation. So I was really honored to represent the Navajo Nation in that area to really advocate to keep AM radio into vehicles so that our elders and our people can continue to access life-saving information. Additionally, we've been meeting with the White House staff to go over a few items of concern to the nation, and as President Nygren has advocated for on a continuous basis, is ensuring that there is a stoppage to uranium transportation on the Navajo Nation. We've been in regular discussions with White House staff on this issue. We are elevating it to President Biden himself to make sure that all federal resources are deployed in order to find different fixes to respect tribal sovereignty so that we can enforce our own laws on the nation, but also prevent harmful risk of radiation exposure through the transportation of uranium mining on the Navajo Nation. We've also been meeting with the U.S. Department of Justice on the Not Invisible Act Commission report on their recommendations. There have been a few recommendations that we have questioned specifically in regards to tribes being able to apply for different funding. The President of the United States back in December issued an executive order which really is supposed to streamline a lot of the application criteria for tribes in order to access funding more easily and more accessible. They've established a one-stop shop is what they would call on a website that would list all of the available grants that tribes are able to apply for. However, they're having trouble implementing that across all of the agencies, and that's been made apparent. So we've been working to address that, as well as other recommendations within the Not Invisible Act report. President Nygren was recently in DC this past week. We're very honored to host him. He testified to the House Appropriations Committee Subcommittee on Subcommittee on Interior, Environment, and other related agencies, really identifying the challenges that Indian country has, especially the Navajo Nation, in its chronic underfunding, and has advocated for federal funding in specific areas such as the Indian Child Welfare Act, which actually this past fiscal year has actually received a reduction in funding. So President Nygren was very adamant about making sure that we protect our Navajo children and that the ICWA program does get additional funding. Additionally, we've been advocating for increase in the Water Rights Completion Fund, which would help fund the Navajo Gallup water supply operations and maintenance once it's been completed, as well as funding to address the uranium mining cleanup on the nation as well. He also had various congressional meetings, ranging from our Arizona, New Mexico delegation, as well as some pretty poignant figures on the Senate, and trying to advance the Navajo Gallup water supply project to make sure that we receive the funding for that, but also pass the legislation to ensure that the project doesn't fall apart in December, because there is a deadline of December 30th to have that project completed, and the Navajo Gallup Water Supply Project Amendments Act would actually extend that to 2029. We are also working on the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. President Nygren was advocating on that on the Hill yesterday, making sure that we don't lose the momentum, really pushing to ensure that our Navajo uranium miners and our downwinders are appropriately compensated. The Utah governor has recently come out in support of the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, and President Nygren did issue a video statement sharing his disappointment in the Utah delegation on the congressional side for not supporting those amendments. So we are working on that. Next week will be a big push up on the Hill. We are working with our coalition as well as impacted Navajo uranium miners to really advance that issue and really drive the nail before the program expires this June. Additionally, the president met with Deputy Secretary Turk to really talk about lessons learned from a lot of the different funding opportunities and the challenges that tribes have been having accessing that. We are in continuous discussion with them on streamlining those processes and make sure that they are abiding by the executive order that President Biden issued to really advance our interest and really making it easy to access these funds. It just seems to be a lot of bureaucratic impediments in the way of being able to not only access the dollars, but to spend the dollars and to report on those dollars. So we're really trying to really enhance our self-determination and making sure that the federal government is being held accountable and being consistent with what the administration's priorities are. We also have one last update. We have made selections for our 2024 summer internship program. Those announcements will be coming out on our social media page very soon. But overall, we're very excited to have 3 strong Navajo women joining us for the summer to participate in all of the activities that we're doing and to really teach them about the importance of tribal governance and our unique government-to-government relationship with between the Navajo Nation and the U.S. federal government. So keep a lookout for those announcements. That is all that I have right now. So until next time, ahiha, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Heather Claw. I'm Deputy Attorney General here at the Department of Justice. I'm excited and happy to go ahead and provide the reports to step in for a Madam Attorney General at this time. First of all, I'd like to go ahead and thank all of our law enforcement. We really appreciate your service that you provide for the safety of our communities, and we pray for your protection. The Navajo Nation, one of the exciting announcements that Department of Justice has is the Navajo Nation. We want to welcome Denise Billy. She's been selected as our new Deputy Chief Prosecutor. We are pleased to announce her appointment. Denise Billy is from Belen, New Mexico, and she's going to be coming in and serving as the new Deputy Chief Prosecutor. Ms. Billy comes with extensive background in federal law enforcement and has made notable contributions to addressing the missing and murdered Indigenous people crisis. In her tenure with the United States Attorney General, Deputy Chief Prosecutor Billy managed and presented numerous cases for the federal prosecution with a steadfast focus on survivor dignity and rights. She will be officially sworn in to the Navajo Nation Bar in June of 2024. We're happy to welcome her to the office of the Chief Prosecutor. We also like to announce the nation is in the process of finalizing a comprehensive settlement to all of the nation's water rights claims in Arizona. This legislation will drop in an immediate term. It is also in the process of finalizing its settlement of claims to water rights in the Rio San Jose Basin and the Rio Paraco Basin in New Mexico. Finalization and approval of these settlements will bring tremendous water security to the Navajo Nation and to our future generations. Thank you very much to the President and to the Speaker and to the Council delegates on the Navajo Nation's Water Rights Negotiation Team. They have worked tremendously and provided the leadership and the vision that is needed in getting us to the point that we are. So thank you again for that. This is definitely a huge event within our Navajo Nation. The Department of Justice, along with the President and the Navajo EPA, are in the process of finalizing draft uranium transport regulations. That will ensure that if uranium's transport happens on the nation, it is done in a safe and careful manner that minimizes risks to the Navajo people. Once final, the draft regulations will go through a 30-day public comment period. After that, the nation will respond to the comments and post final regulations. Then the final regulations will be ready to present to the Resource and Development Committee for their review and approval. Another exciting news that we do have is the groundbreaking event for To'Hajiilee water line. This is scheduled for May 15th. The Navajo Nation Department of Justice Natural Resource Unit assisted in with the agreements that were necessary for this pipeline. This is a critical pipeline. It provides safe and reliable drinking water to the Navajo community of To'Hajiilee. This project, once it starts, is scheduled to be completed in fall of 2025. The United States Department of Justice, we have been informed, will not pursue the Ninth Circuit appeal on ONHIR's behalf. The U.S. Department of Justice filed a motion to voluntarily dismiss what we say is ONHIR's appeal. This means that the Arizona District Court senior judge ordered issued in favor of our client stands. Our client is now eligible for relocation benefits. We have another win in this in ONHIR from another win against ONHIR. We have another positive outcome for our Navajo Hopi Legal Service client. A magistrate judge dismissed ONHIR's motion and reversed ONHIR's and its hearings officer's decision to deny relocation benefits to our client. In addition to this, finding that there is enough evidence in the record to support the client's claim, the judge directed ONHIR's hearing officer to write a new decision that accepts and considers all of the evidence in the record. And we're so excited about those two decisions because it's sometimes not sometimes, in the most case, it's been an uphill battle to go ahead and confirm our Navajo Hopi clients in that area's rights to their benefits. So we're definitely excited and pleased to announce those wins. In our risk management department, they assisted in a successful ruling in the Joe versus Dene College case that was filed in the Window Rock District Court. Department of Justice received an order to dismiss our motion to dismiss granted for lack of jurisdiction on the basis that the claim is not covered under Navajo Nation insurance policy due to the false allegations and the defamatory remarks, and along with violation practices that were not being included. So we were great to go ahead and get a win for the Navajo Nation in that aspect. Justin announced about his intern announcement, and we're definitely excited to go ahead and provide that Department of Justice has selected 10 interns from the various areas of Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and I believe one from Texas. We're definitely excited to have them come in here. Last year, we did host 4 interns, 2 from Texas, 1 from Vermont, and 1 from New Mexico. Their help and with research and projects for the Navajo Nation, or the Department of Justice, was so successful. They were upstanding. We were excited about that. And we definitely appreciate all the interns' assistance and helps that we are provided. But not only that, more importantly, is that we do welcome the interns not only to go ahead and assist with additional work that is possibly needed, but it's so much better if we have all the up and coming superstar attorneys that are going to be coming up through the law schools, because they're going to be our colleagues. They're going to be either serving within the Navajo Nation, within the states, maybe in the law firms that we ask for assistance with, and also in the federal arena. It is always helpful that these people have experienced time here at the Department of Justice and what our clients in the Navajo Nations need. And also to understand what we're trying to achieve here too as well. So we are definitely excited to welcome the 10 interns. The program will start in June 3rd week. It'll be an 8-week program, and they will complete their service with the Navajo Nation at the end of July. So again, I thank you so much for allowing me to go ahead and step in for Madam Attorney General Ethel Branch, and I'm excited to go ahead and provide my report. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers this coming Sunday. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Colonna, Executive Director for the Division of Natural Resources. I'm originally from Tohatchi, but I'm in So I'm excited to be able to report today on several different items that have been accomplished here at the Division of Natural Resource with our various different divisions within the Division of Natural Resource. Last week, I want to note that we were able to do a groundbreaking for a new complex over in Crown Point. It's called the Eastern Denebikeya Complex, and that project has been in the making for approximately 6 years with the help of community development staff at the time, Mr. Casey Begay and Elmer Johnson. We submitted the first application to the state of New Mexico for funding, and just different people coming on board to also help from the chapter, from the community, Council Delegate Danny Simpson, to get everything done, get it to the finish line, and waiting for the new building to be brought in. And so that's really exciting, because not only does the Navajo Land Department homesite section will be housed in there, which was the original intent, but we're going to actually be able to have 5 additional programs within the same building to be able to work together and provide services to all of our relatives over in Eastern Agency. So that's a big plus, and that's exciting. On another note, not exciting, but I just want to remind everyone that with spring coming on, the temperatures rising, kids want to be outdoors. I just want to urge everyone to watch your children, be with them, supervise them. And the reason I am saying this was that recently we had a 2-year-old that was mauled by dogs in Fort Defiance, and it was serious enough where she had to be flown to UNM. And so it's unfortunate that happened in the young child. received multiple wounds. And so I'm urging all dog owners, watch your dogs, make sure they're confined in a fence area, are properly leashed, make sure all their vaccinations are up to date. And if you know that they are very protective of their range, the home area, their owners, you know that they could bite someone, please take extra care that that doesn't happen. So I just, again, follow the animal control laws and regulations. And so everyone will remain safe, and not only the animals, but the people as well will be safe to be able to enjoy the outdoors of what is happening. Also, with spring coming in, you're starting to see a lot of small animals that will be out in the wood areas. You're going to see nesting happening by birds. So on behalf of the Navajo Fish and Wildlife Department, I just want to let you know that if you come across any animals, just leave them where you found them. Their mother is probably nearby. They just fled or because you were in the area, and they'll be back to take care of them. So make sure you're not picking them up, taking them home, trying to take care of them, because they're actually are wild animals. And so we just want to also remind you that's kind of what spring brings, and to our area here on the Navajo Nation. The next announcement I'd like to make is and invite each and every one of you out is to the Navajo Nation 2024 Energy Summit. And the title of that is Educating and Empowering, and that's going to be in Albuquerque at the Pyramid Marriott. The dates are going to be June 4th, 5th, and 6th. And so there's going to be a lot of different presentations from the Department of Energy with the U.S. government. You're going to have Navajo Nation departments and programs. We're going to have many speakers. We're going to have companies from the various different technologies that are renewable energy. We're looking at wind, we're looking at solar, you're looking at hydro, you're looking at many other energy related projects that are proposed on Navajo. So you have a better understanding of what those technologies are, what the benefits are to communities, what the benefits are to the people and to the nation. And when we're looking at these projects, so we'll have a better understanding. And I urge all of you to attend and let others know, and invite them to attend as well. The last announcement that I'd like to talk about is really the upcoming event. And I've talked about this in the past, but this is really exciting. In 3 weeks, we will be hosting, the Navajo Nation will be the host of the Home of the Navajo, the Nebuchadnezzar PRCA Rodeo, and for 3 days. It'll start on May 31st with the morning show and evening show, June 1st and 2nd, also at the Dean C. Jackson Arena here in Winter Rock, Arizona, at the Navajo Nation, what we call the fairgrounds. We'd like to have everybody come out and be a part of this event that's really kind of the first time for a lot of people. One first time is that it's not going to be on 4th of July. It's going to be earlier. And what that has meant is that has increased the excitement, as well as the number and the caliber of contestants that want to come to Navajo. We have the world champion bareback riders. We have the renowned Saddle Bronc riders, the Wright brothers, the breakaway world champion, Jackie Crawford. We have the former world champion, Tough Cooper, Sherry Servey, former barrel racer. They have all informed us that they're coming to be a part of this event. And so one of the big things is that there'll probably be over 500 contestants over the 3-day period. The producer for this year's event is Servey Rodeo Company. They put on one of the best productions known in the rodeo arena. Binion Servey I spoke with him, and he said he's really excited to be here for the Navajo, the Nepikaya PRCA rodeo. And he said there's going to be an impressive lineup. They've been out there promoting since Houston and San Antonio. They're out there promoting this rodeo on the Navajo Nation. He has already committed to bring his top stock, which are also world champion stock, that will be there for the first time that this company has ever done a show on the Navajo Nation. And all the stock have been resting since Houston, and this is going to be the first time that they are going to be showcased. So those animal athletes will perform here in Window Rock to kick off the rodeo season. And then some of the other exciting things is that our own Navajo Nation athletes have also joined and have been promoting and also really actively involved in the guiding the event as to what do professional athletes look for in events. And so we're really excited that they're going to be here as well. In the bull riding aspects, I guess I should say, is that the reserve world champion, Josh Frost, is probably going to face off with our own Navajo Nation, Cody Jesus, our own homeboy, is going to be competing in the rodeo. We also have Eric Rogers. We also have Aaron Sinagini. We also have Derek Begay, have already been out and promoting for the rodeo. The NFR world champion as well. Hi-Ho Yazi will also be here. So there's and the steer wrestling champions will be here, from Michael Bates, Rooster Yazi, veteran Mr. Jody will also be here. There's so many. I'm trying to read all the names as I go through here, as well as for the women's event. We're going to have breakaway roping. There's going to be some of the top competitors that are coming as well. Bailey Bates, Cassidy Dennison, Jenny Torticini are also going to be here and be a part of this event. So, and we're really excited for these events coming in for the first time. The dates, the events, staff have been really working on ensuring that the event area is ready to go. They've been doing a lot of preparation, and so which is going to be very exciting for each and every one of us that are going to be attending and taking a part in this event. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, those are just some of the updates that I wanted to provide from the Division of Natural Resources. I urge you to make plans to come out to the rodeo. That kicks off 7 o'clock each evening. We're going to get tickets out for sale right away. You got to see the T-shirts. You got to see some of the merchandise. You want to be the first one to have those as well. And then on Friday and Saturday night, we're going to come back to the traditional Western dances that we used to have. We have State Line that's going to be here, and also Brian Ramon and his team of his band will also be putting on a great country Western dance going back to our tradition. And that's what we're showcasing is the Nebuchadnezzar, the people, our land, our arts and craft, our food, all of that is what we want to be able to showcase. And so with that, I want to thank you all. And for all the moms, happy Mother's Day. And may you all enjoy it with family. Thank you. KGAK.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Effie Edsity. I'm the Executive Director for the Office of the Navajo Tax Commission. I want to thank Director Halona for that announcement. It sounds like some really exciting things to look forward to in the upcoming weeks. Again, my name is Effie. I'm originally from Las Chilitas, Mexico. I'm Kia'ani, born for Tabajan, and my report here is going to be on our tax revenue collections for fiscal year 2024. So for third quarter, right now we're in the third quarter, our sales tax, non-retail tax collections, and this is going to be our professional services, construction companies reporting and paying tax to our office. So from April 1st to today, we've collected $4.4 million in tax revenue for sales, non-retail. Tobacco products tax, for the same time period, we've collected $13,000. Possessory interest tax, $2.5 million. The oil and severance tax, we've collected $430,000. Our business activity tax, right now we've collected $384,000. Our fuel excise tax, we are at $945,000. Hotel occupancy tax, we've collected $140,000. Sales retail, this is our brick and mortar stores, grocery stores, convenience stores, and establishments as those. We've collected $563,000. Our junk food tax, we've collected $240,000. Alcohol tax, $14,000. So third quarter, again, we're in the middle of third quarter right now. So this is from April 1st, 2024 to today. We've collected $9,776,188. We've collected, so right now, from the beginning of the fiscal year to today, we've collected 68% of our projected tax revenue. Our projected, again, is $111 million. Up to today, we've collected $76 million. So we are, I believe we are doing rather well in our collections. The monies that flow into general funds is going to be our sales tax, non-retail, and that's half of the non-retail collection. So I reported that we collected $4.4 million. So $2.2 million of that goes directly into general funds. All of our possessory interest tax, our tobacco products tax, oil and severance tax, and all of our business activity tax all flow into general funds. And so each one of those, everything I've reported, the $13,000, the $2.5 million, $430,000, and the $384,000 all went into general funds for this quarter so far. And we've put $5.6 million into general funds for this quarter. Again, that's going to be from April 1st to today, May 9th. For general funds, we've collected 66% of our projected revenue. Our projection was $59 million. So I believe we are doing well in that aspect also. So moving forward, our possessory interest tax. Payments were due on May 1st. So we do have some taxpayers who unfortunately pay late. They missed a deadline for whatever reasons. So we are still bringing in those funds. The business site lease forms, 245Bs, they're due to our office by May 15th. And also on May 15, we have the majority of our taxes due. So I believe our collections will probably double by next week. So we have our business activity tax, our sales tax, junk food tax, alcohol tax, oil and severance, and tobacco products tax are all due next week by May 15. So if you haven't gotten it in the mail, be sure to work on it and get us your forms and tax payments. Our hotel tax, the next due date for that is June 30th. Our fuel excise tax is due every month. The distributors, they have to get their forms and payments to our office by May 20th. Usually the 20th day of each month is when they report their tax revenue to our office. We also have fuel carriers and fuel retail reports due to our office by the 25th. So the next due date for them is going to be May 25th. Liquor reports. The next due date for our liquor reports is going to be June 20th. So be sure to be working on those and get it to our office timely. Some of the other items I am currently working on that I've reported on before, solar renewable energy tax. So our office has been meeting with several solar companies over the past couple of months, and we have been working diligently on this draft. There are so many different aspects to taxing solar energy. Not only the taxation part of it, but also looking at possible credits, exemptions, and exclusions. And this is going to actually be a joint effort with the states. So we're currently reviewing the states of New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah to see how they run their solar tax program, and we want to work ours in the same, in a similar fashion. We don't want to be adverse to them. We want to make sure that our taxes work right along with them, make sure they're structured, and they, like I said, that they include any possible credits or exemptions or exclusions. Some of the areas that we are really targeting and looking into is, one of them is the definitions. When statutes and regulations, policies and procedures are put into place, we want to make sure that we define all of the terms, and make it understandable for everyone who's going to be partaking in that business. We also need to figure out what exactly the tax is going to be imposed on, the rate of the tax, and who's going to be responsible for filing and paying that tax to our office. So we are still working on the solar tax. Another one that I've mentioned before is working on the tobacco products tax. There's currently a proposed legislation on our tobacco products tax. It's two-part. One of them is to increase the rates. The second part is to include electronic smoking devices. Now, increasing the rates is something that we can do rather painlessly, I think. We can just take a look at some of the of course, looking at states and other tribal nations who tax tobacco, and to make sure we're in the right range. We don't want to be an outlier on it. So we don't. So that's not too difficult. Now, the part we are working on is the electronic smoking devices. So I just received the latest draft of legislation. I received that yesterday, so I'm going to be reviewing that and taking it apart, asking questions to make sure that we address the electronic devices correctly. We have to review our MOUs, our memos of understanding with the states, because there are some states who collect on our behalf, Arizona being one of them. Now, Arizona's legislation, they had legislation on the table this past session to include electronic devices. But from what I understand, that didn't pass. So our question from the nation would be, since Arizona administers or collects that tax on behalf of the nation, will they be able to collect on something that the state doesn't? So, there are issues as those that we have to address to make sure we get written down correctly, and everyone, all the stakeholders who are involved, know their roles, and to make sure we can implement this going forward. So right now, these electronic devices are being taxed. They're being sold in the Navajo Nation, and they are being taxed with the Navajo Nation sales tax at 6%. So we want to make sure that our states legislation rules on tobacco tax works in unison with ours. We don't want to create a rift somewhere to where we have a lot of legal questions come up. So we want to make sure we're in unison. So that is the progress on the tobacco products tax section. The last one that I had reported on was Amazon. I'm still working with Amazon. I've set up the next round of meetings with them. My goal is to have the company implement the Navajo Nation tax instead of the sales tax, the state sales tax. So right now, when you order from Amazon and you live on the Navajo Nation, you go onto their website, and there's going to be a state sales tax on there. Well, my initiative is to get that removed and to put Navajo Nation sales tax on it if the product is being delivered here to the nation. Again, just like the tobacco tax, we have to work with the states, and we got to make sure everything is in unison before proceeding. So this one here, I've reached out to DOJ and other outside resources to research the issue and make sure we are in line and working with all the stakeholders. I initiated the formal review process, and right now it's just a lot of research. We're in the beginning stages, and I'm pretty confident that we can nail this one in the upcoming months. It's going to take a little bit of work and partnership with DOJ to see how we can get that implemented. We have a couple of other areas that I'm working on, which is revising tax statutes and regulations. Some of these statutes and regulations have been in existence since, they were written back in the late 1970s, the early 80s. We have to update and amend those to so taxpayers can be able to file and pay their taxes more efficiently, more quickly. So we are going to be looking at some of those. We do have a couple of vacancies with our office. We have a tax auditor position, tax compliance officer. I believe I have 2 positions open there. The senior tax compliance officer position, mineral specialist position, and a principal accountant. So as soon as I get the JBA submitted to DPM, they should be able to post this on their website. And lastly, I want to thank my staff, loyal, hardworking, come in every day and do tax collections, their audits and everything. We have quite a bit of stuff going on at the office. So thank you to my support team, Elisa, Chastity, Raquel, my accounting team, Stan, auditors, Lawrence, Laverne, Regina, and Ed, compliance, Tania, Cheryl, Cynthia, and I have 4 temporary workers, Shania, Aiden, Emily, and Tanisha. Thank you so much for all of your help. And lastly, I want to end with a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers coming up this weekend. Stay safe. And that's the end of my report. So have a good week, everyone. Thank you.